Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are you all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Saturday, wherever you are around the world. Of course, welcome back to our post-match reaction to, of course, Liverpool drawing by one goal all. Drawing 1-1 against Aston Villa. Of course, thank you to, well, of course, Bobby Firmino. Who else would it have been to rescue Liverpool today, anyway? But yes, Roberto Firmino scoring on his last ever, of course, for Liverpool at least anyway. Of course, his appearance for Liverpool in what I think now is a very, very emotional as well. Obviously, the aftermath of course, after the effect, obviously the send off for Bobby Firmino as well. But I think looking at it more as in terms of points of what happens next season as well. Look, I think today was very disappointing, and of course we'll speak a bit about that as well in tonight's episode as well. But look, I think overall now I think pretty much confirms that Liverpool will be playing Europa League football next season. And look, I think we've all said it when we chat over the last couple of weeks that rightfully Liverpool don't deserve Champions League football. Again, it's very disappointing and very, I think, annoying in that aspect of things. Then you look again, then today, Liverpool wasn't at the races. We wasn't at our best today. But look, again, it's what we deserve from the season. And especially, again, obviously, mathematically, it's still, I think, possible. Of course, but look, it is over now. It will be Europa League football now for Liverpool next season as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments as well down below. Let me know your thoughts, your reactions as well to today's game, and of course the send off for the boys. Of course, obviously not the send off we'd want for Bobby and James Milner, and of course Box and Naby as well. But look, at the end of the day, who else was it going to be to score the equalising goal as well? Apologies, Charge, a bit more there. But also apologies if you can see like a glare but there where the light is a bit turned up because yeah, for some reason when it comes to like summer nights in my house, for some reason all the time it's always like this, where the sun's just glaring in my room particularly anyway. But yeah, obviously, but let me know your guys' thoughts as well, and let me know how you lot are as well. As Brian says, Blair, I think very disappointing. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in total agreement, Bri. It was disappointing today from Liverpool. We didn't look, it was like we were playing like if it was a game for nothing, if that made sense. Of course, with United playing at the same time as well, and obviously, them beating Bournemouth 1-0. It has pretty much confirmed now that it is. I know mathematically, like I said, it is still possible, but come on, it is done. Liverpool are playing Europa League footy next season as well. Obviously, obviously Brian saying Thursday nights as well. Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan as well saying hi. I like the new image as well. To be fair, Jordan, of Lautaro Martinez. Any well, I think there's any news on Alexis McAllister? Yeah, there is news. I don't want to mention it as of right now. We might be back live tonight, maybe again, or just check out a short. Again, there was news breaking. What was it, like 5-10 minutes before the game ended? About Alexis McAllister. But yeah, just to say there is news on Alexis McAllister, and it is more or less done. But again, I won't say anything too much. What is the having point of Ming's 100% red card? John Brooks is a shite ref. Yep, absolutely, Doug. To be fair, I'm glad you mentioned this because I have the Kung Fu kick. Like, I don't get how this isn't a red card ever. Like again, we all laugh and joke about De Jong on Xavi Alonso in the 2010 World Cup final. Like it's plain and simple to see. Like again, people rage the fact that Jota wasn't sent off against Tottenham back a couple of weeks ago. But again, you look at it again, it should be a red card. But look, I know plenty of people go, "Oh, the referees' decisions today cost Liverpool," and in some ways, yes, because again, that should have been a red card. I feel like again, we talk about time wasting, and again, that I think the Athletic brought out an interesting piece in terms of time wasting in the Premier League. I think there should have been a sending off in terms of time wasting. But Emi Martinez was very lucky at times to only get away with the yellow cards realistically, and a couple of warnings. Um, but yeah, there was plenty today that Villa, of course, look, under an elite manager, Unai Emery, of course, they're going to do these types of things. And that's the annoying part. But look, at the end of the day, realistically, did Liverpool deserve anything in the game? I did feel like we deserved the draw. But Villa, fair play to them, in some respect. Again, they did play to our weakness in terms of time waste and frustrating Liverpool. And again, it's annoying. And again, I absolutely love, uh, Gakpo to get his own revenge anyway. But look, at the end of the day, it should have been a red card, absolutely. This absolutely should have been a red card for Mings, in my opinion, as well. But look, it is what it is, and shite. that's the annoying part about it. To be fair, but De Jong on Alonso, yeah, absolutely. Mo went full blind alley mode today as well. Yeah, it wasn't the best from Mo. Again, Trent, I don't think it was Trent's best game. There's Diaz as well. But again, Lucho coming back from a serious injury. Again, he's only just returning back to what Lucho of old was in that aspect of things. Again, I'm very positive on what we've seen of him so far. But then again, it was again, like, you look at Curtis Jones, Jordan Henderson as well today. It wasn't the best. I thought one person in particular I thought had a very, very solid game um, as a whole. I thought Virgil van Dijk was back to his best today. I thought he showed commanding presence. He was again calm, like in certain areas, not even on and off the ball. I felt as well. So again, I think Virgil van Dijk is slowly getting back to his best in certain areas. But again, obviously the team wasn't. Again, like I said at the start of the stream, wasn't on it for me anyway. But again, it's annoying as well. To be fair, the air's still cold as well. Yeah, absolutely. Bray as well. Robson as well. Hello, Rob, saying every counter attack hurts us so much. I know we play a certain way, but we've got to do something about it. Yeah, I think again that's something for the summer to work on. 100%, Rob. I think like Liverpool, we've gone from one of the best defensive teams. Like again, you look at when we won the league the year before that as well. Liverpool, I think, on both occasions had the least amount of goals conceded. And we've really strayed away from that. I know that plenty of people on social media was like, "Oh, I think today has highlighted, why we need to maybe replace Fabinho." And I think what certain people were saying, I agree with. I think look, Fabinho has been massively helped out in this double pivot with Trent. And is it time to look for a Fabinho replacement? Yes, I do think there is, but by the looks of things, Liverpool aren't doing that. So it again offers up more questions than answers when we speak about Fabinho and the sixth role as itself. Because personally, I feel like going ahead for next season, I was speaking to Jack about this yesterday. I personally feel if Liverpool are going to pursue McAllister, Mason Mount, and Ryan Gravenberch, if they are the three that will come in the door next season, I have a feeling that Jordan Henderson now will. I feel like him and Fabinho, they will be the rotated six. I don't think Jordan Henderson will be a number eight unless, of course, the it comes to where like Mount's not available or Gravenberch isn't available, or maybe Curtis Jones or Cody Gakpo as well, potentially if they're going to play that role as well. You could see potentially that. I think Hendo will be used more as a six next season. From my personal my personal I can't think of the words. You can tell my head's gone today, chat. My personal thoughts anyway is the fact that I think Jordan Henderson will be used as a six for next season. But Bajcetic could be huge next year. Yeah, no, he could absolutely. But I feel like we shouldn't be relying on a 19-year-old kid to take up that role, because again, it's opinion. Thank you, Bray. It is an opinion. I couldn't think of the word then. My head's gone today, especially because of that game. Like, it was a mixture of frustrated, sorry, and just, just what on earth was that in certain areas as well. But yeah, look, I think personally, you look at it realistically, a Liverpool. Liverpool have some things to work on. I think for next season, for sure. I think, look, particularly, I think when we talk about it, we talk about um, number 6 for next season. Yeah, I think that's a position that needs to be fixed. But again, look, and I don't really want to put it too much onto it, but again, Villa played well today. I don't like to say that, but they did what we hate. We hate being frustrated. We hate, time wasters. And there was a certain element to the game today of, it was a goodbye to a couple of players in terms of, Milner, Bobby, Naby, Ox. It did feel like I don't know how to explain it. It felt at times like it was like a pre-season game, if that makes sense. I don't know if if that's my opinion, to be fair. But again, obviously, look, we go to Stanton now next week. I wouldn't be surprised if Jurgen might change or experiment with a few things potentially. He might want to end the season on a winning way, as well. Because when you look at it, still again, it's another game unbeaten. I think now we are unbeaten in 10. I think, is it 10 now we're unbeaten in, as well. So again, it's obviously a good run. And of course, it builds confidence up for next season. Because I think if this was Liverpool earlier on in the year, I think 100% we would have lost that game, for sure. Because again, we was lucky, to, of course, with Ollie Watkins' penalty miss, as well. That was a one as well. But again, look, I think particularly it is for sure a learning curve for Liverpool. And I think as well, like, judging from what Jurgen, I know I've said to you guys that the new hybrid 3-4-3 and 4-3-3, that will be sticking around for the future. While I do think it is going to be sticking around, I do think Liverpool are very much moving towards 4-3-3 going forward, and not the pivot that we've seen. But again, I think it's always also a good option to have. I'd say at least anyway. But yeah, thank you, Bray, for opinion as well. I couldn't think what I was saying, to be fair. But Badger's in saying Adrian Gomez, Matip Jones, Milner Henderson, Phillips Southfield, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Thiago Salah, all out. Bloody hell. There's a lot of people there. Most of them are leaving, to be fair. Martinez, an absolute shithouse. Yeah, no, he's a shithouse. You can just tell he loves it. Yeah, no, he does. He loved that today. But I feel like that there has to be something done in terms of time. Again, look, you saw it today. What was it, 10 minutes of added time? Probably should have been a bit more than that, considering the fact that the amount of time wasting happening. But look, it is what it is, and I think that's, again, it's really frustrating. And don't get me wrong, it is, but it's also the fact that the Premier League needs to do something about it, because again, it's not only the Liverpool game. Again, there's different situations you could probably look at. The World Cup and FIFA had it down to a T, where you saw 8, 9, 10 minutes of play being added on, as well. And look, I think that was the right way to go about it, and I think it still is the right way to go about it. I think if we're doing, this in terms of, like, you look at, I think, was it the first 2 minutes of extra time, Villa wasting time, and so on again. Like, look, it's so stupid, man. But yeah, that's just, again, my thoughts and opinions anyway. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved it in there. But Brian says if he's good enough, he's old enough. Look at Gavi and Pedri, not banking on him, but don't want to block his path either. Difficult situation to manage properly, but trust Klopp and the kid. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Again, I think Bicetic will be brilliant next season for Liverpool. In this new, in the new Liverpool midfield. But look, again, I understand where you're coming from, and again, I think Europa League now will be a big key factor for it as well, because I guess Liverpool would be in pot 2 for the Europa League. I think so. Yeah, we would be in pot two for Europa League. So again, we should get a decentish group. I say that now. We'll just get a group of death. To be fair, but look, at the end of the day, I think we're one of the favourites for Europa League for next season straight away. Like, don't care who's in the competition who gets knocked down from the Champions League. Liverpool are one of the favourites for it. But Trapsen saying, what a way to say goodbye. Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it, from Bobby? And yeah, it's just a shame that we couldn't, get the win for Bobby. To be fair, but look, at the end of the day, obviously Bobby leaves. I don't, for me personally, I don't know if you guys are the same. It didn't hit me until he scored that he was leaving, and the reaction afterwards with Bobby. Of course, I've got a couple of photos and that. Like, of course, he was still on the pitch quite late with the fans, but it didn't hit me until then that Bobby was leaving the club, and it probably won't until fully hit until it is proper, and he last next week when he is gone and so on. But yeah, I think when he scored, it was like but like it really hit me the fact that Jesus Christ, he's going to be going, and that as well. And again, Liverpool legend, in the Klopp era, one of our most crucial players. And yeah, I hope Bobby has a outrageously good career outside of Liverpool. Again, I think talks with Atletico, is it, for Bobby, and look, I hope he does amazingly well. To be fair, but again, obviously the door's still open where he goes. Spain, Italy, I think Saudi as well is also a destination for Bobby. Look, I think wherever he goes, he'll be a success, no matter what. But I think again, he has still, a massive amount to offer for European clubs. To be fair as well. But hello, Luke or Ricky. I think it's Luke. To be fair, but hello, saying Connor lads. No, Connor Romano. What are you chatting, lads? I'm kidding, of course. Let me bring up Badger's comment. Sorry. Gabby just hates Liverpool. That's fine, but he has it in for Klopp, and that's a not stand for Gabby. He's an absolute knobhead, isn't he? Really. I can't say any kind of words to Gabby or Bolton Hole, to be fair, but I hate complaining. We should have done our job, but them marks on Cody's chest are ridiculous. That just studs on your chest. It can't not be a sending off. Yeah, absolutely. Agree, 100%. I think if he gets the ball and then, unfortunately, then he catches Cody, I can understand it being a yellow card, but Tyrone Mings doesn't get any of the ball, and remember back, was it, what was it, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago when we played Spurs, and Talksport, including Gabby about the whole, was outraged in terms of Jota not getting sent off. I'm sorry, is it not the same then? Like, because again, I think all of us admitted after the game, like, look, it probably should have been a sending off. And I think that again, that should have been sending off. But again, look, I don't want to blame it as as Robert said over there. I don't particularly want to blame it on one particular thing. Liverpool should have done our jobs. To be fair, but look, at the end of the day, it just Europa League does define our season then, because we haven't been good enough this season, to be fair. But look, I think Jurgen will want to win it straight away. Obviously, it's a European trophy we haven't won as well, and I'm hoping next season we come out and we do it like what we did last season, in terms of we go out, we batter everyone, and then we fight for everything again. And I'm hoping that's going to be the same for Liverpool. But of course, again, matters on transfers as well, doesn't it? But yeah, Europa League is perfect for Bajzetic. Yeah, absolutely. Still only 21, Bobby. Yeah, no, he is. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're talking about Inter. Inter could be a good place for him to go, but Inter Milan to win now. Manchester City, I'm hoping they will get injuries and have a bad game. I hate them a lot. I think we all do, to be fair, as well. But yeah, no, look, I think could Inter potentially cause an upset? Who knows? I think it's very much a possibility. But Bobby was the system. Yeah, no, he was. And to think he was, to be fair, a Brendan Rodgers signing, like none of us would even link him towards that. Again, because we all know but Brendan Rodgers didn't want him at the club. He wanted, I can't remember who he wanted, but he didn't want Roberto Firmino. But under Jurgen Klopp, he's gone up there, hasn't he? Realistically, and again, he was Liverpool. Like again, for me, that Champions League campaign when we got to Kiev, that was amazing. From Bobby Firmino, I think he got, was it 10 goals and 10 assists? I think in the Champions League, which was outrageous. As well, and again, like just Bobby himself. When you think about it, when we won the league title, I think he scored the most amount of winning goals away from home in a single season for Liverpool. I don't know if that's still true or not. But again, Bobby Firmino has been the most important player. We can all say, look, who was the best signing under Jurgen Klopp? Was it Mo, Ali, Virgil, Robbo in that in those questions. But for me, I think the most crucial player for Liverpool has been Roberto Firmino, 100%, in my opinion. Anyway, but let me know your guys' thoughts as well in the comments. But yeah, Bobby was the system, 100%. That sums up the city for me and the club. A lad from Brazil, to empathize in Liverpool, loved by everyone, certainly respected by everyone. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. No Firmino, no titles. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no Champions League, no Europa League. Again, it would no Europa League, no Champions League, no Premier League. Sorry, because I got Europa League now stuck in my head. Serious foul play, yeah, absolutely. Total recklessness. He matched it as well, yeah, absolutely. What else do we have? We started how Bobby started at Liverpool in Europe. I guess is a coincidence. Yeah, no, exactly. Again, we probably I think we're going to speak more in depth about next season at some point on the channel. And of course, we're going to obviously take a look at next season. I think Europa League squads. I think Liverpool can go one or two ways with it next year. It can either be a learning curve for certain players like Ben Doak, Bajcetic. If there's any other youngsters in the team that look like the Jurgen's looking at potentially, might get a look at as well. But that's one side of things. I think the other side is Jurgen will go full strength like he would a Champions League game. I think in particular, and yeah, that's the big one for me. I think again, in my personal opinion, I think it will be a mixture of both. I think Jurgen will go. I think like Canate, Gomez. I think actually, to be fair, I think Gomez, if Matip was to stay as well, I think that's probably the partnership for the group stages at least, in terms of Joe Gomez and Joel Matip. But then again, obviously there's different varieties anyway. But I'd love to win it, Con. Full final in Dublin. It will be like a home game. It will be packed full of Reds, absolutely. Yeah, that's a big factor as well, isn't it? To be fair, but the new kit is nice, therefore a different red. Yeah, it's I think 2 shades lighter reds than last season's. I think once I get the kit in a couple of weeks, I'll definitely be comparing it. I think judging from images, it is definitely 2 shades lighter. Let me quickly get up where we buy. Yeah, there we go. There's a photo of all the boys, of course, wearing it. It is, yeah, again, it is the dark shade red that we know and love for obviously back in the day of New Balance. But again, there's that. There's potentially you know, yeah, obviously, nobody. You can see Ali's kit in the back. Nobody expected that today. To be fair, of course, Ali's new green kit as well, which actually got quite nice. To be fair, for a goalkeeper kit. But yeah, I love the new home kit. I think it's probably the best home kit Nike have done. But again, I know plenty of people will have different thoughts on that. But again, I think New Balance did a very good job on our kits. To be fair, but yeah, absolutely. He was signed by Araya, but before Brendan could object. So Brendan did what Brendan does and totally undermined Bobby by playing him out of position. Yeah, he played. Was it that game against West Ham? And he played Bobby as a right wing back. We played a 5 at the back against West Ham. Like that's how bad it was for Liverpool. At one stage anyway. But yeah, again, you think about it. We signed him as an an attacking midfielder from Hoffenheim, and Brendan Rodgers thought, oh yeah, I'll show him a right wing back. Like, Jesus Christ! Like again, I don't rate Brendan Rodgers as a manager. Again, I thank him for that season 13-14. We know it was Luis Suarez that did that pulled Liverpool out of it, along like Sturridge and Gerrard and Sterling. But like Brendan Rodgers for me isn't an elite coach. In my opinion, like again, I think is he the second favorite now for the Spurs job, behind the Vinehard manager at the moment. Again, I don't get how, if he does get the Spurs job, I don't get how he's done it. If I'm being perfectly honest, Liverpool should have gone Under Armour, Adidas for me, mate. I think if Liverpool were ever to go back to something, Adidas would be for me, absolutely. Kit is nice, but I prefer a collar. I think plenty of people are like that as well. Massive new signings in with the new and with the old. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure you understand how kit deals work, Roger. Nike paid the most money, the biggest distributor kit in the world. That is true, to be fair. And again, Liverpool got one of the best lucrative deals out there. Like again, if I was to buy, for example, if I was to buy Liverpool kit, Liverpool get 20% of that sale, which again, when you work it out financial wise, it is perfect for Liverpool. But I think that Liverpool did something with Nike that I don't think anyone else has done in terms of that. I'm not particularly sure though, to be fair. But Brian, I know, but color shade is brighter as well. Yeah, no, it is a shade of brighter up as well. But Liverpool home kit is simple, all red, not hard to get right. No, that is true. To be fair, I feel like Nike the entire time has pretty much, they've done simple designs with the home kit. And then the away in the third kit they've gone nuts for. It's like the away kit is horrific. Like I thought, this season's away kit has been horrific in itself, but next season's is even worse. It looks like a Minecraft kit. I don't like it. It's horrific. But people don't talk about that era Suarez enough. The numbers he put up are absolutely ridiculous. Totally elite level striker. Yeah, he was absolutely bright. Again, that 13-14 season, nobody speaks about it much. Again, I know, we don't like mentioning it because, of course, what happened towards the back end of it as well. But look, I think in particular, for me, something bad happened in the Arsenal game. Just looking now, I think somebody broke in their leg in the Arsenal game. I don't know if anyone's watching it, to be fair. But yeah, no, for me, I always look at it and I'm that season for me growing up as a kid was, an outrageous season, considering the fact that seasons before that Liverpool wasn't doing great. We were like eighth, seventh, around that area, around Europa League, and getting beat week in week out by West Brom as well. But look, I think for sure, obviously now it's better. But look, that season, was outrageous as well. What's happened in the Villa game? What's happened in the Forest game? No, I don't know what's happened. To be fair, but Talia Alpine, thank you, Dazzle. Obviously, Bobby Dazzler. Calling the system must change going forward. I think we're pretty sound where we are. To be fair, Gary, but I agree. I think look next season. I think Liverpool change entirely again, realistically in terms of system anyway. But Gordon Silva's in. Hello, mate. Hopefully, on a fantastic day, mate. Saying I don't like the new kit that much as well. Again, I can respect it. I think it looks, classic. I like classic kits for me. Um, but yeah, I think it's 100% that anyway. But I do remember Adidas kits back in 80s, 90s, and 07 to 010 as well. Yeah, again, they were the best, to be fair. The photo they did looked cool, but not on the pitch as well. Yeah, for me, I like it. But yeah, I can understand if people don't like it as well anyway. But talking a little bit about of course, the send offs, of course, Bobby Firmino, of course, was the main one today. Obviously, we did get to say goodbye to James Milner as well today. Obviously, obviously, James Milner did have a little bit of a crying session as well. That photo doesn't look good, does it? To be fair, but no, look, James Milner is another one for me. Um, Look, I think Liverpool have replaced him, which isn't his fault. And I think that plenty of people will go, oh well, Liverpool should have replaced him a lot sooner and should have done this and should have done that. And yeah, that's true because again, like I said, Liverpool shouldn't be relying on James Milner in 2023. That's I think that's a fact by now. But what James Milner has done for me, he is by far the best free transfer, certainly in the Premier League era, for Liverpool. Maybe Premier League itself, potentially in terms of free transfer. But yeah, like again, the fact that we got him from City as well, managed to lure him from City as well. Of course, I think he was about to sign a new deal, and of course we managed to get him as well. But again, will easily go down as a Liverpool legend without a shadow of a doubt. Um, and yeah, for me, leaves an absolute wonderful legacy at the football club as well. And look, I obviously at the minute it does look like he's going to go to Brighton at the end of the season as well, which of course is a great move. You look at Adam Lallana, for example. I think plenty of people thought that he was just going to go there to be, you know, fifth, sixth, seventh choice, and maybe he might still be that in certain areas. But I think if we ever spoke to a Brighton fan or even a Brighton podcast, they would say that Adam Lallana has been one of their best players behind the scenes. But look, I hope James Milner does fantastically well as well. I think there's even rumours if Leeds stay up, they might try and bid for James Milner as well. So again, there's obviously something there. But again, I think he's going to go to Brighton. He'll do amazingly well. Um, for them, and I hope him well as well. Obviously, Naby Ox also going as well. Unclear where they're going to go as well. I think we spoke about that last night in the show, talking about where they'd go. Personally, I think Ox goes to like a West Ham potentially. But then again, Naby as well. I think back to the Bundesliga. I wouldn't be surprised if RB Leipzig tried to get him back because, of course, with Timo Werner being there. So of course that opened that door back up as well in that area. But again, look, I think I wish them all the best. Obviously, we've still got a game next week, but realistically, it means nothing now. With United winning and obviously Newcastle, I think Newcastle they are. I think if they win tomorrow, that's Champions League, confirmed mathematically for them. So again, look, it is done now. We will be Europa League football for Liverpool next season. It's what we deserve. I don't like saying that. Don't get me wrong. I'd very much not like to say that Liverpool deserve Europa League football, but it is the truth. Liverpool do deserve Champions League, Europa League football for next season. And again, I hope we go on to win it because again, I think as you guys have said, I think Rob mentioned it. The final is going to be in Dublin. We know how many Irish Reds there are. They again close to home as well. So again, there'll be plenty of people going over as well. And yeah, hopefully, I think again Liverpool go into the Europa League as one of the favourites. Hopefully Sevilla is not there, but of course they're going to be around the competition, aren't they? So again, hopefully next season we'll be speaking about potentially another European final anyway. But of course we got to get things sorted, haven't we, in the transfer window? To be fair, but Golden Silver's and saying, oh, obviously earlier on, what am I on about? Guys, your ideal transfers for next season. Personally, again, my three would in midfield would be Ugarte, McAllister, and Gravenberch in terms, for that potentially. But again, if we're talking, people haven't signed Jude Bellingham. Look, if we're talking, what would be ideal transfer, Jude Bellingham is not done yet between him and Real Madrid. So who knows? But yeah, can go down that alley. To be fair, anyway, but no, will be Warrior. Oh, Jesus Christ, Warrior kit. Oh, Warrior kit today. To be fair, in the wardrobe. But I will say one thing though. It reminds me of the TT camera kit, and that's always excellent as well. Yeah, no, absolutely. Season as well. Did Gabriel just punch someone? Um, how is everyone doing today? Very poor game before. They wanted the win more. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Again, um, just wasn't at our best, was we, today, to be fair. Let me quickly scroll back up. Exactly, Connor, not the future as well. I think that's when I was talking about James Milner. I'd go for Gabriel Vega, Alexis, and Barella. To be fair, Gabriel Vega statistic wise, he is like a cheap version of Jude Bellingham. A bit more attacking though, as well. So potentially in this new system, it might be alright. I think he's going to go Madrid though. To be fair, we need to learn from this now. I'd not be signing players like Ox and Keita off the world. We must look at players that can get 8 to 9 season out of. Yeah, I said it yesterday, didn't I? I think that Liverpool need to look at like the Genie Wijnaldum, like style and statistic in terms of, if they miss a game, they play like you look at Genie. Genie played like every game he missed, he played like 53 games after an injury or after he missed out. And that's what I think Liverpool need again. They need players like McAllister. Is that, to be fair? Again, McAllister hasn't been out majorly in his career. The only time I think he's been out for more than 3 games was due to COVID. So again, McAllister is that. Gravenberch is also that when you look at his injury record as well. But yeah, that's the thing. Liverpool just need to sign non-injury prone players. That's of course the major one, and it's easy for me to say that as well, and for us to say that as well. But look, I'm more than confident whoever Jurgen brings in, because if they want them, if Liverpool want them, if Jurgen wants them, then for me, I'm happy because again, I trust Jurgen Klopp, without a shadow of a doubt, for next season, 100%. But because as Mount would fit well, but the price tag for being local is too high in my opinion. That's the one at the minute. I think once McAllister is done and dusted, maybe next week that could be done. Um, then yeah, I think Mount then will be the next one, and then Gravenberch. But again, we'll have to see anyway. But around 3 years mark as well. I don't know if that's on. I probably missed that comment as well. I wonder what the average lifespan of one club. Yeah, it's probably around 3 years. Somewhere around there. To be fair, I wouldn't. It's probably like 4 years, probably 3.5 years potentially. But all the managers' years as well, and what I thought as well. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Gravenberch, Mount, and McAllister plus a DM. Yeah, that'd be perfect. I haven't seen much of Gravenberch. May be that's why I don't find him promising as compared to Gabriel Vega or Ugarte as well. But might be. I think look, he's definitely. I think Gravenberch people misunderstand because they're like, oh, well, why doesn't he get a game for Bayern? And I'm like, realistically, you look at it, there isn't much when you look at Bayern Munich's system and you look at the way they play. It's going to be very difficult to get ahead of Kimmich, Goretzka. Many again, Kimmich now is getting rumored to be going at the end of the season as well. And yeah, look at that. Where does he go? Like, does he go to a City? Does he go to United potentially? Again, I do think it is a bit tabloidy, a little bit, but again, I think look, it's going to be hard for him to get into that Bayern Munich midfield. And Thomas Tuchel's, he's easy enough going, oh yeah, but you look at the players we got, and you look at Gravenberch. Gravenberch will get time. We see him as a long-term project, but by the looks of it, Gravenberch is fed up at Bayern Munich. He wants to be playing week in, week out, and at Liverpool, he does that. So, and again, people go, "Oh, Europa League, Liverpool, he wouldn't want to join Liverpool due to Europa League." I think he would. Again, that's the thing. Liverpool, and I think people misunderstand, like, oh, Champions League and this, that, and the other. Yeah, Champions League adds to it, but I think, like Jurgen said, if you're just joining us just due to Champions League, then what's the point? Like, unless you're intrigued and wanting to join Liverpool Football Club, not a team that's in the Champions League. You want to come and join Liverpool Football Club. That's for me the thing. And I think that's what McAllister. I think McAllister, that report come out from that Brighton journalist saying that McAllister only wants Champions League football. I think that's lies. And again, judging from the reports over the last 24 hours and certainly the last couple of hours, McAllister to Liverpool looks like it's on now. It looks like it's done on personal terms, and it now is just between Liverpool and Brighton to sort out a fee. And yeah, I think again Liverpool will be fine for next season in terms of attracting players, 100%. And if the players like, we haven't got Champions League, well, fair enough, we'll go into the next target, as well. That's my opinion anyway. I hate when people go, people won't join because of the Champions League. Yeah, that might be a key factor for some people, but I think if you only want to join a team because of the Champions League, then what's the point? Move on, move away from the player. We have a lot coming up, and with Trent moving into midfield as well. Yeah, absolutely. Kimmich to City would make sense as well, says Brian. Yeah, no, it would absolutely. It wouldn't cost too much neither. I wouldn't have thought anyway. To be fair, anyway, but moving away from that as well, and moving away from, of course, this incident, which again I think is a red card, and I'll nail that down to a fact that anyway. Of course, we did say goodbye to, of course, these four today. Anyway, of course, Bobby Firmino getting the winner, or getting the equaliser, sorry, for Liverpool, the winner. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Chap, of course, getting the equaliser for Liverpool in, of course, his final game at Anfield for Liverpool. Of course, stayed on the pitch for quite some time afterwards, as well, and of course after the ceremony that they had, appreciating, of course, those four in particular. Obviously James Milner as well, also having to say goodbye as well. Obviously he was crying as well on the pitch after the full time whistle as well. But again, even Bobby, was obviously in tears. Obviously getting a hug from Ali as well. Anyway, but look, for me, it didn't hit me personally until Bobby scored, and then at full time the fact that he was actually going to be leaving. And yeah, it is an end of an era for Liverpool. It is the end of it is an end of an era for Liverpool. A very successful era as well. Of course, that famous front three. Only Mohamed Salah's left now, as well. And look, like I said, like earlier on as well, just thank you to Bobby Firmino, because what a player he's been for Liverpool. And again, like I said, he's probably been the most important player for Liverpool, in terms of the things that we've built. I think as Virgil said it as well, Liverpool have been kind of lucky over the last 6 months. The fact we've had Cody Gakpo learn so much off Roberto Firmino, because Bobby changed the way the false nine's working for not only Liverpool but other teams as well. You look at Tottenham under Harry Kane as well. They've tried to replicate that false nine as well over the years. Obviously, but yeah, Liverpool were the masters of it as well. Obviously, I think when you go back at the Bobby highlights, I think he spoke about it yesterday in terms of I think the PSG game. Of course, his goal was the winning goal in that game. I think he said that was his favourite game. That of course he scored in. I think it might be his favourite goal as well, to be fair, he mentioned. But look, I'll miss Bobby Firmino 100%. He is our number 9, and Si Senor will be sung for a very, very long time after Bobby has left the club. So again, obviously a Liverpool legend, 100%. And look, I hope, like I said to you guys earlier on, I hope he is very much going to a club where they will adore him, like what we've done as well. And hopefully he gets what he deserves as well, and what he's after with his family as well. Anyway, but let's read out the last few comments then before we do head off for tonight. Anyway. What else do we have? I really thought Bobby might stay. Yeah, I think very much Jurgen thought that. Again, it was a Jurgen decision, 100%. And I think, look, again, it'd be interesting. I don't know if there's been no concrete club at the moment that we know of course, in terms of you know, in terms of what happens with Bobby. But again, look, I think Barca, Atletico is another one for me that, you know, is a massive shout for that. Like I mentioned, Inter as well is also another huge one in that aspect of things as well. So, of course, with them losing the likes of Romelu Lukaku as well, that will be one for sure. But look, I think Spain, I think for me, would be the one for Bobby, for sure. But if the chance arises and FSG back Klopp, I would gladly let Thiago, let Trent go if a good offer comes in. I wouldn't. I massively disagree with that. I think Trent is one of the best right backs in the world. I think he still is. I think he is still the best in the world. Um, Next season, hopefully, when he is backed and when you've got the midfield around, hopefully we'll see Trent back to his best in terms of, you know, consistency throughout the season. To be fair as well, but it's only one game left. Give it all you have as well. Absolutely. Yes, he's doing a brilliant job, but are we still vulnerable because of that? I wouldn't say it's just because of that. I think, look, defensive wise, we need, you know, backing up. But I think that's also Fabinho as well. But yeah, that's my opinion anyway. But yeah, he does need to work on defensive stuff still as well. But Connor, no, Connor, yeah, Darwin does get the number 9 shirt for next season. Absolutely. Next year will be Fabinho. Thiago's last year. Change. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, I don't know. Fabinho, yeah, I think might be, but again, might be this year. Who knows? Excuse me. Gakpo was slotting to midfield, I think too. Yeah, I think Liverpool have different variety of like if we want to play, if you need to play a false 9, I think Gakpo can play that instead of Darwin. If you want to play, you know, Gakpo in that kind of 10 role and then Darwin up front, I think that works out as well. To be fair, but look, I think Liverpool have plenty of options going forward. I know Jurgen turned around and went, I think yesterday wasn't in the press conference and was like, "Oh yeah, we are looking for up front options as well as everything else." And I'm like, you don't need it. Like, we don't need it. We need midfielders. We need defender for next season as well. But Brian said, didn't Trent just get a new contract? He hasn't got one yet. This Liverpool have just opened talks with him getting a new contract as well. But false 9 as well. Gakpo is a forward. Yeah, no, I think he's a different variety of options. He's a number 10. He's a number 9. False 9 anyway. Can play on the left. Can play midfield as well. So it's a different variety of options with Gakpo as well. Similar to Bobby. Like what Bobby could do. Bobby could play on the left. He could play obviously the false 9. Could play as a 10 as well if he needed to as well. But yeah, there's plenty of options for next season. Trent is signed until 25. Yeah, that's true. He's signed until 2025. Talks a new deal anyway. Yeah, new deal, improved terms. Probably until 2028, probably if things like that. But yeah, who knows? And again, there's any news, we'll let you guys know anyway. But guys, that's going to be it from us. Anyway, of course, for our final post-match reaction of the season at home at Anfield. Of course, we would have liked to win to cap off, you know, Bobby leaving and so on again. But look, again, Bobby Firmino getting his last goal at Anfield for Liverpool. And look, I wish him the best, and I honestly do. Again, Liverpool legend and, you know, absolute brilliant guy as well. Hopefully, he gets what he deserves in the future as well. Anyway, but guys, if you haven't already, please feel free to leave a like on the video. It's very much appreciated as always. I am going to quickly double check how many likes we're actually on for the show. We're on 13 right now, so we can get to 15, 20. That'd be very much appreciated as always. But yeah, we might be live later on if there is any more news on McAllister. If not, we'll be live tomorrow with the news anyway, because of course I think there might be, you know, new things coming out about Alexis McAllister and Liverpool Football Club anyway. But until next time, guys, that is going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I'll see you all later on. Ta-ra.